Hello again. You now know how to create goals for both you and your mentee. You can also guide your mentee in choosing a career path. This module will help you develop and hone your mentoring skills. Let's go. In this module, you'll learn how to ask the right questions to your mentee and their importance. You'll also learn how to hone your listening skills. Advising your mentee by sharing your own experiences without appearing to be full of yourself is something of an art form, frankly. This module will aid you in doing just that. It's all easy. Chill out. Let's get started. Questions are sometimes annoying, but for a mentor, they're one of the most useful tools to know their mentee. As we've seen before, questions are handy tools for one to discover oneself. A mentor uses questions as a powerful but a simple way of learning. They help the mentee discover more about themselves. The mentor understands more about the mentee this way. Questions help the mentor to be more helpful to the mentee without overwhelming the mentee. When you don't ask, you don't get it. We can say this quote sums up this topic. It basically means you don't get the answer to your question unless you ask them. You need to ask questions about topics your mentee may have left out. Only then you can get a clear picture of what your mentee wants and how you're going to help them out. Asking questions also makes the mentee think about themselves, and it might give them a clearer picture of what they want for themselves. Asking a lot of questions unlocks learning and improves interpersonal bonding. Like we said, asking questions gives an opportunity for introspection and discussions about what it means for the mentee. This can become a learning experience for the mentee and mentor. The mentor could learn more about the mentee and make appropriate goals for the mentee to get into their preferred career. The mentee gets to discover more parts of themselves. This, in turn, gives room for bonding between the mentor and the mentee and deepens their relationship. Asking the right type of question is an excellent way to keep your mentee engaged in the relationship, which results in the mentee being engaged in academic pursuits. We've covered quite a bit about the benefits of asking questions, but what kind of questions should the mentor ask? We'll get to those questions right away. Yes or no questions are one of the basic types of questions, but they give a lot of room for thinking and introspection, so they're pretty useful. For example, do you want to take up writing as a profession? Yes or no? When questions are quite common ones. They are particularly useful in getting to know more about the mentee. For example, when did you identify science as your passion? Open-ended questions require the mentee to give an answer longer than a yes or a no. These answers are descriptions of the mentee themselves, so they're very valuable. Tail questions are those with a statement at the beginning and end with a question. A mentor can use these questions to confirm if they're right about the mentee. So many options to choose from, but which is the most useful tool in the lot? Feel free to guess. The open-ended questions are to be more preferred as they are descriptive ones. Such questions make the mentee think about themselves more than any questions. This would lead to a healthy discussion about the mentee and their goals and give more information about the mentee to the mentor. Here's a few tips on asking questions. Avoid yes or no questions as much as you can and go for open-ended questions. Dig deeper into every answer the mentee gives. You're going to need all the information about your mentee you can get. Know your expectation with the answer before you ask the question. This helps you gauge how much you know about your mentee. Listening is an important tool when it comes to getting to know more about your mentee. Asking all the right questions is of no use when you don't listen to what the mentee answers. And yes, listening is way different from hearing. Listening means you're paying attention to what the mentee answers and processing them so you can ask more questions. Hearing means you don't do any of that. You're simply hearing what the mentee is talking about. Effective listening can prove to be an important tool in learning more about your mentee, as it allows you to understand more information and enable you to dig deeper. Hope you got why listening is important. Here are a few tips to hone your listening skills. Never interrupt. Not only does interrupting disrupt the flow of the mentee, it also comes off as annoying and nosy. Save your questions and allow the mentee to fully disclose any information. Avoid distractions. Make sure that you and the mentee are not using any electronic devices while you are in a discussion. Keep your environment free of distractions. Have these discussions in quiet places. Try not to get distracted yourself. Avoid being lost in your thoughts and focus on what the mentee is saying. Not everyone is fond of advice, especially when it's based on personal experiences. But there are methods to give that kind of advice in a way that the mentee accepts it. You should share your experiences to show the mentee you know what you're talking about. You want your mentee to understand that you went through the same thing and not just showing off your struggles. End it with a positive note by letting them understand that there's always hope.